Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Effective today, I am starting a new series of videos based on financial education. Now this is a shift from what we have been doing in 2020, basically smart contracts, maybe Ethereum based or Tron based. And because I believe that the phase of smart contracts has almost ended in 2020 and 2021, I wanted to do something wherein I and my followers, that is you, do not need to keep on searching for new programs every time. Like, you build up, you've made a base, and then the program ends and you need to start a new one. So I just wanted to put an end to that. And finally I thought of financial education as a very good subject. So basically what we are going to cover here is the trading on stock markets, forex markets, and cryptocurrency markets. Now these have been existing for decades. It's only thing that many people uh, get shied away from this, thinking it is unprofitable. Yes, it is, if you enter the markets without proper knowledge. Now I have been doing trading myself. I have earned some decent amount, lost quite some amount also. I have done various paid courses, and basically I'm sharing all this experience of mine in the form of education for free to all my subscribers. So hence I would like to say that I am not an expert, nor am I a financial advisor. I am just sharing my knowledge for free. In case you plan to do any investments, please make your own due diligence. So before I can proceed, I would kindly request you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not done yet, and please do not forget to press the bell icon. Besides that, you're going to find two links: the WhatsApp and the Telegram group. You can join either of the two or both, because this is the place where you're going to get all the updates in case you miss it from YouTube. So let's move straight ahead and start this new series. And I'm just as excited to share this knowledge with you, and I'm sure you all would definitely love it. And I would say that please do give me the feedback about this very concept, and whether you're liking or not, or what further things you would like to see in the videos. Now since this is a detailed kind of a tutorial, you can expect this video to be on the lengthier side, but I'm not going to take any shortcuts over here, because it is not a race over here wherein you're trying to go and finish first. You just need to understand the finer details and keep on practicing. So moving straight ahead, let's move and start with the first video from the series. And today I'm going to cover how to use the most popular sites, tradingview.com or investing.com. Now as you can see right now, tradingview.com, this website is open over here. Basically all the leading exchanges take their data from this particular site over here, tradingview.com. And there is another site called investing.com. Now the difference between both is not much, but I would be using more of investing.com for tutorials, because in tradingview.com there are a certain number of limitations to the number of free tools what you can use, and to upgrade all you need to go for the paid versions, which is not the case with investing.com. The interface, everything is the same. Now in both the cases, even with investing.com, some basic features are the same, so you can sign in or create an account over here. Likewise on investing.com, when you go over here right on top, you can go for a free sign up over here, and you can continue with your Facebook, continue with Google, or sign up with email. I always personally prefer not to use my Facebook and Google as a sign in, because there is another site now which is going to have access to this. So I personally prefer creating an account. So you can go your name, address, and sign up with the email. So once you have done it, let me go. I've already signed up over here. So before moving in details to investing.com, let me show you how things look in. I have an account both in Tradingview as well as the investing.com. You see, basically this is how the tradingview.com charts looks like. So investing.com is nothing different, it is just the same. So since this is my account, I will go over here to the chart section, live charts. So when you go to the live charts, you go here and do a full screen over here, and now you can see this interface. Both the TradingView and investing.com is identical. You can see all these panels over here. Over here, this is the watch list. This is a watch list. I personally like investing.com, but due to certain limitations, we will be using more of investing.com, and most of the videos what we will be conducting will be on investing.com. So let's proceed and understand how to use this particular site for your trading. Now you can see there are certain things over here, details over here. So when you move your mouse or your over here, you can see it over here. Now before hiding all these options, because when you're doing the analysis and all, you wouldn't want this disturbing, but I would just like to show you one feature wherein some might find it useful. Now this particular bar over here is where you can see any script in the world. It can be of stock markets, it may be of forex markets, or it may be of cryptocurrency. So let me start with cryptocurrency first. Let's say Bitcoin. So I go and type here Bitcoin USD, and there are the list of exchanges where it is here. So right now let me choose Bitcoin. It's on Bitfinex. So it's not showing here. I wanted to show you a particular feature which works. Let's check out, because let's see, Ethereum USD. Okay, here we go. So you see over here, now this is a candlestick pattern. This also I would be covering. There are lots of things to be covered up in technical analysis, and I'm going to do it in various steps of the video. So before eliminating all the things which are showing there, I just wanted to show you that in case of cryptocurrencies, you can see that this gives you the ability to learn the candlestick pattern. So you can guess your candlestick pattern and come and verify whether what you're learning is correct. Now if you want to remove all this data, what you need to do is just click somewhere in the middle of the screen, right click and say hide marks on the bar. So just for your information, when you right click here, you get a lot of options here, a chain symbol and lots of options over here. Most of it are over here, but this is another way of accessing it. So here I've shown you Ethereum, this is a cryptocurrency. Now let's see a forex pair, let's say a Euro USD. Okay, so you can see this is a Euro USD chart over here. Then let's say a stock market. Since I'm based in India, I'm going to select an Indian stock. You can select from any part of the world, like the State Bank of India on trading on the NSE. So here you see, so practically any part of the world, any script you can see over here. Now for those people, many people might find it that they know most of the stuff, but let me tell you, this is for people who have never heard or probably are looking at this thing for the first time. So if you've never heard of candlestick, then this is what it looks like. So there are two types of candles, basically the bearish and the bullish. Bullish, normally that is the one which goes up, takes the price up. Normally it's highlighted in green, and red is the bearish one. So in certain cases and certain platforms, you might see it as white and black. Okay, so white is the bullish candle and black is the bearish candle. Now coming over here, you can see there are certain numbers over here. This is nothing but something called as the time frames. Now time frame again is in a topic by itself, so that again we will cover separately, but just to show you over here, when I click on 5 minutes over here, what this actually means is that this particular candle which is printed over a period of 5 minutes. That means whatever buying selling has happened in this particular time frame is of 5 minutes. This candle also, so the size of the candle doesn't matter, okay, the time frame would be the same. So supposing I select 15 minutes over here, what this means is now that each candle is of 15 minutes. That means the smaller candle also will be 15 minutes, the bigger one also, and for that matter, like this is a doji over here, this is a type of candle again, this is also of 15 minutes. So the color, size, nothing matters. Each candle is supposed to be of the particular time frame what you have chosen. Now what are the various time frames over here? You have 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 1 day, 1 month, 15 minutes, and then you have a drop down, so you can select 2 hours, 5 hours, 1 day. For example, here like 1 day, when I select, that means this is the entire transactions for the day. Now if I select a month, a week, that means this candle represents the entire transactions for the week. And likewise, if I select a month, what this means is that this one single candle represents the entire buying selling for a period of 1 month. So next we have over here the candles. What I told you is this is the candles, and your option is area. This is not much use, at least I don't use. As I have been telling you, there will be tons of options in this website. Not all are used by me, and maybe not all are used by others also. I'm sharing here the most commonly used, and of course some of my favorites over here. So you may find lots of other features, which probably it may not be feasible for me, otherwise you'd have to go in a huge video, and probably I never use it, and you may also never use it. So I'm just trying to give you the data which would be very helpful for you in your trading journey. Now here you have bars. Now the various types of candles, bars, when you click, you're going to find this kind of a candle. Then the candles regular over here. Then you'll have the hollow candles. You can see over here the bullish one is hollow. Then you have Heikin candles. These normally are used for the exit strategy. Then you have the line, the area, and practically various types of Renko. Well, I have not used this, but what is normally and most used is this candle over here, the normal candles pattern. And as I mentioned, the Heikin candles are used for the exit part of it. So let's keep it default candles over here. Then you have the settings over here, the chart properties. So here you can literally, like as you can see, the candles color over here, the borders, the price line, the scaling, the background. You can literally customize so many things over here. One of the important customizations which everyone would want to do is the time zone. So you can come here, me based in India, so I will select UTC plus 5:30 over here, and I say OK. Now you can do it from your settings that I had shown you, or even if you come over here and double click over here time zone, you can do it from here also. Now next is the indicators. Now this is like a big chapter in itself, because these are the tools which are used and which are going to help you a lot in your trading journey. There'll be lots of indicators like you have. I'll just try and put a couple of them to show you quickly, and then in the due course of time we can take up the most important ones over here. Like here you have the moving average exponential here, for example. then and each particular indicator can be customized. Now let's say a RSI indicator over here. So like I've just put in over here 2 indicators. Now against each indicator you'll find 3 buttons. The show and hide, for example, it will be more visible over here. So now if I click hide over here, this indicator would vanish. Although it's going to occupy that position, I say show. If I click on this delete option, the indicator will vanish. Then you have the format or the settings again. So one very important thing which I would like to tell all of you is, please do not change any of the numbers until and unless you know what exactly means and what is going to be the uh, outcome of changing the same. The customization, as far as the style, there is no restriction. You can change it the way you want. Like I don't want this background, I make it white, and maybe the line which is plotted, I want it say a red. So everything else you can tweak with, you can play around with. Please do not change any of the numbers what you see in any of the indicators. Okay, so let's close this, and as I had mentioned to you, this is the delete option, so I'm going to delete it from here. So once it deletes, you can always restore it by coming to the indicators options. Even the EMA over here, you have again the same thing, like a format. You can change it, you can make it dark, thicker, you can change the color. Every possible customization can be done. Again, this length also plays an important role. Now this again, when I'll be covering a separate video on moving averages, that is the time I'm going to explain to you what these numbers mean. Now next is a compare tool. Well, I never needed this, but just for the benefit, I will show you what exactly it is. Like we already have a chart over here. Now let's say I want to compare it with some other. So let me say TCS. Okay, and Tata Consultancy here I selected. So you can see there is another chart over here. Now this is of TCS. Again, when I double click, how I get this option is I go and I click on this chart, double click on this chart. So you have again the styling option, like no, I don't want a line graph, I want a line with breaks. And I say, for example, okay over here with the histogram over here, or I want a cross over here, or you can literally columns over here. So you can literally sort of play around with this. Now this is normally used when you're trying to compare two scripts over here. Well, for me, I don't need it, but since I'm going through the detailed explanation, I'm showing you around what all features are available. So let's remove this thing and let's get back to our original screen. I'm going to remove this indicator also, moving average. Okay, so then you have the undo and your redo command, and at the side of that you're going to find a alert button. When you create an alert, what you can do is that for this particular script, now in this case it's SBI, you can set up alerts. That means like if a price moves above so and so, or if it changes, gains so many percent or loses so many percent, volume, and what frequency you want. You want it only once, you want it recurring, how do you want it, like a website, mobile, everything can be fed in over here. Now next you have the snapshot tool, instant snapshot. I'll explain that. What it basically means is that there are various drawing tools over here. So let's say I'll just select a random. I'll explain you that, and say, let's say a drawing tool over here, and I'll just take a brush and maybe probably try to draw something over here, this, and maybe I'm highlighting here something and stuff like this. And let's say that I want to send this particular info to someone. So what I can do is, when you click snapshot over here, it's going to take a screenshot of this particular page over here, and it's going to open a pop-up. You can share it via Twitter, or you can download the image. You can copy the link and share it across, or download the image. So when you try to download the image, you can see whatever you have done, a new image would be generated, and you can share this thing across. So this is the use of the snapshot button. Now there is the layout over here. Before the layout, what I'm going to do is I just want to remove this particular watch list so that I can get more space. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how to add more or your favorite scripts to the watch list. Now for example, this is SBI over here. I want to add this to the watch list. What I do is I just right click over here in the middle and I say add to watch list. You can see there's a shortcut here, Alt plus W. So you see over here SBI is over here. Now let's say I'm looking at a TCS. Okay, so this I want to add this over here. I can do the right click or straight away go and click Alt W. So you see here. Now the advantage of this is that many a times you might be doing trading, day trading, especially when you want to see multiple scripts. What you can do is you can just switch over here by just clicking here, like TCS, SBI, etc. Now you can see a small window over here, hide widgets. So when you come and click over here, this watch list would be hidden and you can see the entire full screen. Now I wanted this in particular to explain you this particular layout. So you can see right now we are on a single page layout, but many a times you must have seen traders checking out multiple scripts. So how do you do that? What you do is you just select this layout, and before that there is an option over here, sync crosshair on all charts. Let it be over there. I explain what it is. So, and second, there is a link symbol to all charts. So let's first make it, instead of 1, 2. That means by the layout in itself you can see there are two side by side vertically, full vertical windows. Now there was something as a sync crosshair. What this means is, like say let's change the script over here to a say Ethereum. Okay, so on the right side I'm monitoring one script, on the left side there is another script. Now you see over here, when I'm moving on the left screen, you can see simultaneously it moves on the right screen. So many a times when you are analyzing the same script, now if I want to analyze the same script, what I can do is, when I say link symbol to all charts, what's going to happen is all windows which you open like that will show only one script. Now if I click this, you can see both have changed to Ethereum. Now supposing this is say a 15 minutes time frame, and this I'm selecting 5 minutes. So when I move over here, for example here, you can see parallelly on the left side screen, now you can see over here that 20 January, that's 23:10 on the right hand side, and how the screen is moving on the left hand side, you can see parallelly the same script. So that is what this function sync crosshair is about. And if you want to see the same script, you will be selecting this, otherwise it will have to be removed. So now the layout, you have two side by side or vertical. Basically you can have those two horizontal, you can have 3 horizontal, you can have 3 vertical, and each script can be different. What you need to just do is come here, for example select here BTC USD. So you have Bitcoin script over here, you have Ethereum, and let's say a Tron script over here, TRX USD. So you can see there are 3 different scripts. So likewise you can have up to 8 scripts here in investing.com. As I was mentioning, limitation of trading view, you see over here, when you try to get to this multiple, you see you're going to need a bigger monitor. Your plan has a one chart per limit, so the lot of limitations come up when you're using tradingview.com, because you have to migrate to a paid version, whereas investing.com gives you all these features over here. So let's get back to the one chart layout. So I hope this has been clear. Then finally, next what is there is that just like you save your normal Windows Word file, you can always save this. You can see a cloud over here and save chart layout. This whatever you have done over here, you simply click over here, it's going to get saved, and the next time around you want, you just come and load chart layout. So when you click this, a pop-up is going to come. Like for example, I have here some setups done. So let's see a super trend setup over here which I have done. Okay, so it will load the last things what you have set. So let's go back. So you can literally, oh my god, so you have to go to full screen. As I've shown you, just right click, hide marks on the bar, hide the watch list. So we have covered practically the entire tools what are there on top. Now on the right hand side of the chart is obviously the prices, and below are the date and the time over here. You have the option to see the history, like a 10-year history of this particular thing, or a 3-year, 1 year. So if you want to see past performances, you can come over here, or you have the go to option wherein you can select a particular date and go to that particular date over here, and you click go to, you see over here you're going to land on that particular date. Now having made these things clear, now let's move to the drawing tools. Now here you can see a lot of toolings part of it, and as I had mentioned to you, there'll be tons of features over here in investing.com. We are not going to use all. The main ones which are there, which most of the traders use, and the most commonly used one is what I am using, and what I find very useful is the one I am sharing with you. So this is nothing but your cursor over here, the cross and dot, nothing great in that. So a cross or a dot over here, nothing big in that. So let's keep the default cross, because when I select over here, you can see on the right hand side and the left hand side, you can see the price and the date, and I prefer the cursor the cross way. The next is the drawing tools over here. Now you can see there are various options. So how do you get this? Is you come and you can see a small arrow over here, you click over here, and you can see various options: trend line, trend angle, horizontal line, horizontal ray. Just as the name suggests, that's how you can draw. So let's select the first option, trend line. So let's say I want to draw a line. I will come here, for example, I'm just selecting at random any place. I select this, and 1 minute, I'll come select the trend line. So what I'm going to do is select here to, for example, yeah. Now the moment you draw a trend line, you can see another small window popping up. Now here these are again the customization features. So you can change the color of your trend line, you can select the thickness, how thick you want, or you can select whether you want a hidden line, sorry, a dotted line, solid line, and various options over here. Then you can clone and copy it. If you want to just copy and clone over here, you can hide it over here, the tool basically. So if you want to hide the drawing line, it's a trend line. I'll show you how you can hide the okay. So now supposing I want to hide this particular drawing momentarily, what I do is I click over hide over here. This is a hide all drawing tool. So whatever drawings you have done, supposing you have created a mess which you don't want and you want clarity, you can just come over here, hide it, and the moment you want it back, you just click it back and you'll have it back over here. And supposing you don't want it permanently, you can go and click on the delete option. So this is basically a segment what you draw over here. Trend angle, you have a horizontal line. Now this is one of my favorites over here because it goes infinite. I don't need to draw it. What I just need to do is, for example, this is the topmost portion, so I just come and select this point, and the horizontal line will be generated across the length and width, and it's an infinite line both ends. Now if I want to customize it, I just double click and you'll have all the possible options over here. Now to move this up and down, I can either drag it up, down, or numerical. You can see there's a value over here. I just come and change the coordinates. Now let's say it's 35,000. I want this at say 34,000 price. So when I do this, you can see the price has come down over here, trend line. I can move it manually here, there, or any place I want. So horizontal line is one of my favorites, and this is very useful for drawing your support and resistance. Now what is support, what is resistance is, again, I'm going to cover it when I'm doing a detailed video on trend lines. Now besides horizontal, there are a couple of things. Now this array means it's going to start from one point and go towards infinity instead of two ways. Vertical line is just like this over here. You can just draw a vertical line over here, then go over here. Extended, this is again one of my favorites because this gives me the trend. Now let's see, I'll just zoom in. So to zoom in and zoom out, what you can do is just use your cursor, or on your laptop use your gesture pad. Now you can see over here, like visually, I know it will be very easy even for a person who doesn't understand chart. You can see that the price is falling. So if I want to just draw a trend line, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the bottom positions, like here, one, and the moment I select one, the rest of the line will be plotted. What I just need to do is try to give as many touches to it to increase the effectiveness. So I wanted to touch at 1, 2, like here. So the point to be noted when drawing the trend lines is that it should ideally be at the bottom or the top, and the initial one preferably would be at the end. Like if I'm drawing it from here, it would be preferable from here week. Like I can show you, I'll just delete this again, and let's say I'm drawing it from this particular week extended. So let me say this is the lowest position and I'm trying to go up. Okay, so somewhere here. Okay, yeah, sounds good. Okay, so you see here that I've started it right from the bottom, then it goes and touches over here. So what happens is, as the chart is going to progress, the chart progress from left to right, so new ones would be generated over here. So you can see over here the stock price is falling of Bitcoin. For example, here it comes here, takes support, it moves up, takes support, moves up, it moves down, takes support. Now you can see the market is going sideways, but after taking support over here, but after a few time it's going to support. Now what happens typically is that if this line is broken in the future, you can expect a bigger drop than what is right now happening. Now as I mentioned, trend line is a separate topic which we will need to cover separately. So coming over here, then you have a parallel channel, for example, wherein you can select one point over here and you select, say, second point over here, and here. So you can see the price is moving in this particular channel. This is how you draw a parallel channel. So what you're going to do is you're going to select one point, second point, and just drag it down to whatever you want it to. Now there are various other things: disjoint angle, a flat top, bottom, etc. You can use it based on your conveniences. The concept remains the same, but what I frequently use is, and what you would also probably, is maybe a horizontal. I always prefer a line to a ray or a segment because it goes infinite and I don't need to draw it over and over again. and the price charts normally respects this trend line. So my favorites, and I would say you also recommend, is when you're drawing a horizontal line, use this particular thing, and whenever you're drawing a trend line which is maybe an uptrend or drought trend, use the extended line. Now let's delete these tools, whatever I've done. Now if you come over here, you can see remove drawing tools. Okay, here. Okay, so I'll say delete. It's gone. Select here and I say delete. Okay, so we have covered this particular thing. Next is you can see over here there are various more like something called as a pitchfork and inside. Well, let me confess, as I told you, I don't use all of these features. I am sharing the ones which I know I use very well. So there's a good possibility that many of you might be knowing a little more than what I am using. Now from this, what the one which I use is a Fibonacci retracement tool. Now this is also a separate chapter in itself together. So like for example, you have this particular let's say yeah, okay, so you have this particular pattern. So from here the price has fallen and the low is over here. So what this particular tool does is, once there is a fall over here, for example in a downtrend, it would tell you at what levels it's going to go and take support again. And let me draw it again and let me check whether it respects the support. So this was how it is. If you see over here, it comes and these are supposed to be fixed numbers, and again I'll try to surely cover a separate video exclusively on Fibonacci retracement, how it is to be used. You can see it comes and sort of almost takes resistance and supports at these particular pre-drawn lines. So this can be a good judgment if you're taking profits or if you're putting stop losses. So this is how a Fibonacci tool would look like. There will be, as I mentioned, there will be a lot more features. Probably as I'm learning, I'm going to share those also with you. Then there is a drawing tool over here. This is nothing but a typical drawing. Like if you want to do anything over here, you come and select, for example, a brush. I want to say draw some things over here. Okay, this is how it works. And probably like a rectangle, like I want to mark, say, a good support over here, like okay, so let me see a rectangle. I'm marking a support level over here, like from here to there will be many ways in which you can use. I'm just showing you one of the ways. So like okay, here for example, if I drawn the okay, I'm using the laptop, I don't have the mouse. So ideally when you're drawing, I would recommend people to use a mouse because it gives you more flexibility compared to your laptop. Now assuming this was the uh, area which is there wherein it is taking a support, so it comes here, it goes here, it comes here, it goes here. It's just like a trend line. If you see, once it breaks this particular support, there's a huge drop. Same will happen in case if you're using a resistance. Then these are basically tools like if we want to highlight something and say okay, like I want to highlight this particular candlestick over here. So what I can do is I select eclipse over here. I want to highlight these two candles. So I come and go to the arrow eclipse. So come here and eclipse over here, come here, and then I select here and here. So this is something like if you want to highlight and show something, then there are many others like triangle and arc and stuff around. Then these are the typical text features. Like if you want to mention something over here on this particular chart, you can do whatever you want, like how what is the expected price of Bitcoin in 2021. So you can again sort of go and do all the styling over here, or let me leave it as it is. So you can see the text box over here, and then you have a host of features. You can draw for arrow mark and notes and anchor text and call out buttons and balloons and whatnot. So like if you want to highlight here, you can see the arrow over here, and then you have here there are various patterns which you can draw, like a triangle pattern, head and shoulders pattern. So again, chart patterns is a different story altogether, and it requires time. So like definitely, a few of these chart patterns we will see. But if I'm just trying to just select, let's say, a head and shoulders, for example, you select here and select here and two and three, four. It's not the correct one you see over here. I'm just trying to draw and show you how things plot up over here. This is not the correct head and shoulders, but I'm just showing how such tools work. This is not the correct head and shoulder. Let me repeat. So let's delete this. It's just to explain to you what this particular chart patterns would look like. Then here there is your positioning and thing. If you want to understand, supposing you're going long, you want to understand, say here you're going to go long on this. Just select this portion over here, and it gives you an indicator like what is your risk to reward ratio, and what would be a profit, what percentage would be a loss. And if you want to tinker with it, change it, you can just drag it, move it up and down to suit your requirement. Now risk to reward ratio is also very important chapter. Again, let's do it sometime later. And this is if you want planning to go long, similarly for going short, and a host of other features over here. Now this is a measuring tool over here. This is icons basically. If you want to use various icons are over here. Nothing but just simple plain icons. Then you have measurement tool over here. Measurement tools in the sense like if you want to measure, like I click over here and select this particular thing. Okay. So what this tells me is that there were 15 candles, 15 bars over here. The time frame here is 3 hours 45 minutes. Each candle is of 15 minutes here. So this entire time frame, and during this time frame you have a negative growth. So minus 1.89% was the drop in the price of Bitcoin, and the drop was 692. So this measurement tool is very useful if you want to understand the statistics, like what is the fall, what is the percentage, or if you want to set up your TPs and your SLs. TP stands for take profit and SL stands for your stop loss. Now then there is a zoom option over here, zoom in. Supposing you want to know, this is very fine, and you want to understand, you just go select that particular area and it will zoom in, and this is zoom out. You're back to normal. This is magnet mode, is something which I don't use, and I'm not very confident what exactly it is. So this is hide. As I had mentioned, all drawing tools will be hidden. So when I click again, everything will come back over here. Delete option deletes all the things what you have done permanently over here. So this is a very important site. Both your tradingview.com, investing.com. Tradingview.com, as I told you, has the limitations of being paid once, but once you become a pro, you may want to probably switch to tradingview.com. And this particular site is going to be very useful in your technical analysis for your trading in future. So I hope that you like this particular video. If something has not been clear, and if you want to know about certain feature, please do ask me in the comments section below. Besides that, if you have liked this particular effort and if you have liked the idea, of starting a new financial education wherein it doesn't cost you anything and wherein people are charging a bomb for you to learn, then I'm sure this video definitely deserves a like. And please do show some love by sharing it around with your family, friends, and people who would love to learn just like you and me. And before winding up, once again, please do subscribe to my channel if you have not done yet, and do not forget to press the bell icon. And last but not the least, the Telegram and the WhatsApp group is something which you should definitely join. So until the next video, take care and be safe.